Well, hi guys. Welcome. And who dat? I'm Joe. Thanks for tuning in to Rosenfield 10, where I cover our beloved Bless You Boys in black and gold, the New Orleans Saints. Are you a Who Dat fan? If you're a Who Dat fan, subscribe to this channel. Consider me a friend or a coworker, a fellow fan who loves the Saints as much as you do. And when you see me, you say, "Hey Joe, what you think about them Saints?" And that's what I'm telling you about in these videos. And you talk to me about it. Let me know in the comments what you think. I respond to my comments. And we'll keep it in the Who Dat family and we'll talk about the Saints. And I've been loving the off season, doing draft stuff and talking about free agency and where's this team going to go. And it's a lot of speculation right now and everything. I don't know, man. The grass is green this coming football season, it seems like we're going to be competitive. And yeah, sky's the limit. The sky is blue. The grass is green. The picket fences are white. Everything is nice right now. So we've got the scouting combine coming up this week. We're in the middle of it. We're starting it right now. And what I thought about was how boards were going to change, boards containing these prospects, player rankings. They're going to change after the combine. Some players are going to rise, some players are going to fall. Some of it's going to be drastic, and some of it's going to be kind of ridiculous. But I thought it would be an interesting experiment to let you know where I stand now before the combine perverts these boards. So, this is my all new top 10 player rankings for the prospects that the Saints could take at pick 8 in the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft. Now, these are my top 10 prospects for the Saints, not necessarily the best prospects. So you're not going to see quarterback on this list. But yeah, and you're going to see some players rated higher than players that you may think are better players. But when we talk about drafting the best player available, we're talking about drafting the best player available at a position of need for the Saints. You're not going to draft the best player available at the top of your board. I don't think. I don't think that's the way it works. You have to have a ranking on Fernando Mendoza. You have to. Okay? You never know. You never know. Crazy stuff could happen. You could very well be going into this draft in some weird dimensional split timeline where you need a quarterback. I'm just saying, stuff happens. You have to have an evaluation on all these players. So, Fernando Mendoza's on your list. And let's say you've got a ranking system, and this is the way I would do it 0 to 100, and your highest rated prospect would be 100. You could have Fernando Mendoza at a 99, and then pick 8 comes up, and there he is, and you need a quarterback. You'd be trading up for him. He's going to be taken with the first overall pick. We know that. But my point is, if Tyler Shuck is our starter and you don't need a quarterback, and Fernando Mendoza's sitting there at pick 8, he's 99 overall on your board, and then you've got an edge rusher or a wide receiver or a defensive lineman or running back sitting there, cornerback, something that this team could use before a quarterback. Are you really going to draft Fernando Mendoza? Are you really going to draft the best player available? That's the only point I'm trying to make in this crazy way that I do these videos. If you're new to this channel, I press play and everything's live. I write down a couple of notes to make sure I don't forget things, but I'm kind of flying off the cuff every time. I hope you enjoy it. It's like two people passing each other at work, our friends that get together, and we love the Saints and we start talking about them. And this is the way it is. I mean, best player available. Keep seeing that all the time. Just take the best player available. Okay, so we're going to draft Francis Mawanoa with the first pick, tackle. In the second round, we're going to get Ty Simpson because he'll be sitting there when we draft and he'll be the best player available. You know, it just comes with caveats. Now, these caveats can be obvious, and I'm making this video about best player available because I've been thinking about it lately. The best player available. In the first round, we got Malinois. In the second round, we got quarterback Ty Simpson. In the third round, we drafted offensive tackle Caleb Tiernan because he was the best player available. And you end up leaving the draft with three quarterbacks and three offensive tackles. Okay. No, it's best player available at the position of need. The Saints need a lot. We don't need a quarterback. If Francis Malinois is sitting there and you have a higher overall ranking on him than you do the next player, let's say Malinois is at a 95 and David Bailey's sitting there at a 94. Yeah, I'm not taking the best player available. Probably going to take David Bailey because we could use him. We could use Malinois too if we want to move somebody to guard, but those are the decisions you have to make. So best player available is different for every team, and it's always best player available at the position of need. I mean, now if you don't need a quarterback and Garrett Nussmeier sitting there in the fifth round, think about it. Yeah, that's where the caveats come in, huh? Would this team draft Garrett Nussmeier in the fifth round if he was sitting there? They might, but not in the third round, I don't think. You could have a rating of number 60 on him on your board and be picking at 73 and think he's a great value, but it's still not a position of need. I mean, at some point you have to draw the line. If Spencer Rattler's there in the fifth round, at some point you're like, okay, this is ridiculous. So if Garrett Nussmeier's there in the fifth round, yeah, best player available. So just remember all of that. And I've made this video way too long already, and I haven't even talked about my top 10. So with all that in mind, these are the top 10 prospects I have rated for the Saints to draft with that eighth overall pick. So it's not even really top 10 in the first round. It's just, if we're going to pick at eight, these are the guys I would consider the most. Starting at number 10, I'm going with cornerback Mansoor Delane out of LSU. He's been on this list the whole time, 6 foot, 190 pounds. And Delane would be our number one cornerback. Now, before he got to LSU, wherever he was at before, I don't remember. I think they played a lot more off coverage stuff, probably a lot more zone. And when Delane got to LSU, he was playing more press man and man, and he looked like the best cornerback in college. So I worry about Delane's ability to play a lot of zone. I don't think he was bad at it. I just think doing what he was doing at LSU made him look like the greatest cornerback in college. And the thing with Delane is he has a lot of experience. His length is a little short, but he's a very capable cornerback. He would be the number one cornerback on our team. And I think he would fit into the mix match stuff that we do pretty well. So my only hesitation is, yeah, he was really good press man and man. So we don't do a lot of that on this defense, but I think Delane would make it. Now, I think cornerback's one of those elite positions to address. It's one of those positions in the first round that you try to go and get your guy. I don't know if Delane fits into the system so perfectly that that's the guy you go and get, that you target him and say, oh my goodness, if he's there at 8, you have to take him. I don't know if he's that guy, but he is on my top 10. And, players down here at the bottom of this list, they're all worthy of the eighth overall pick. If they have conviction on Delane and he's going to make it in this defense, then yeah, I wouldn't be upset with it at all. At number 9, I'm going with wide receiver Jordan Tyson. He's the most talented wide receiver in the draft, and he's got great size at 6'2", 200 pounds. So just a playmaker. The issue is he's been hurt every year of his college career. So you worry about drafting a guy with an injury history, especially when your starting wide receiver currently has an injury history. So I'm a little iffy about it. Now, more and more, I think about the idea of him being healthy, and I get excited. I want to put Jordan Tyson at the top of this list if I could guarantee he would be healthy. he would be the best wide receiver in the class if he stayed healthy and played 17 games a year. He would be the best one to get. So there's another caveat you got to worry about. Yeah, rating with an asterisk, when healthy. Right. So, in parentheses, when healthy, Kendre Miller is a really good running back when healthy. Kendre Miller would probably be talented enough to take Alvin Kamara's place as our number one pack of the future when healthy. So it's still there for me. It's still a sticking point. If I would have done this list a week and a half ago, Tyson would have been in the top five. These things fluctuate, and they will after the combine. So I'm giving you my top 10 now. Yeah, I wouldn't be upset with Tyson. I would just be nervous. At number 8, David Bailey. Now he's fallen on my list. He's been in the top 5 the whole time, but I got him here at number 8 right now. 6'3", 250 pounds. I think he's the best pass rusher in the draft. And I think when it's third and long for the opponent and David Bailey's coming after the quarterback, that's going to be some serious impact. And that right there could get you so excited that you don't have questions about Bailey at all. But I do, because before you get to third and long, you've got first down and second down. Bailey's just okay against the run. He's too small to probably handle the run on a down to down basis. I don't know. He could show a lot of improvement. He's a really good player, but he's an exceptional pass rusher. He doesn't show a lot in coverage. He doesn't show a lot versus the run. That's not his calling card. And those linebackers that are good against the run but can't cover and can't rush the passer, you hope you work the kinks out with those guys too. David Bailey has a place. Third down, pass rush specialist. I mean, you think about the position Chase Young's playing for the Saints. We have him rushing the passer every down. He's almost like just an extended defensive end. And if you want your other edge rusher to be the same, and Bailey's job's going to be to come after the passer 80% of the time when he's on the field, and even if it's first and second down, then yeah, Bailey's an interesting prospect to get. An impact player, definitely. I would not be upset if we took him at 8. I would be concerned that they're going to run right at him and throw right at him on early downs, and it's going to have an effect. But if you're asking your edge rusher to rush the passer all the time, anyway, you have to cover things in other ways. So yeah, I mean that's just my only issue with Bailey. Is he an every down player, and is he a liability if he's not rushing the passer? But if he's asked to rush the passer every time he's on the field, whether it's first, second down, whatever, then yeah, he can make a big impact. So I love David Bailey. I am claiming he's the best pass rusher in the draft. And if we get him, that's going to be his job, and he's going to do his job well. I just think that it might be on a part time basis. I mean, it's just one of them things. You got to be pretty good against the run. You got to be able to cover if you're asked to cover. So we'll see. That's where I'm at right now with David Bailey. Love the player. At number 7, a new addition to my list, linebacker Sonny Styles out of Ohio State. 6'4", 243 pounds, the exact same size as Arvell Reese. Sonny Styles is one hell of a linebacker. You don't take a linebacker with the 8th overall pick? Okay, well, yeah, if Jamario Davis doesn't resign, you might want to take the best linebacker because you're going to need some really good play. Not to miss Davis. I mean, Davis is an all-pro type, so it's going to be hard to replace him and not feel the bumps and the bruises. Well, I would be pretty excited if we drafted Sonny Styles. I'd be more excited if we traded down from pick 8 and we're still able to get a guy like Sonny Styles. But I think Tampa Bay is going to take him at 15 if he falls that far. So, and there's a chance Dallas wants him and takes him, and there's a chance a couple of teams ahead of us would take him. I mean, Styles is the best linebacker. Positional need, one of them things, and do you take that certain position? Like I said, I don't feel that way. If you get a guard with the eighth overall pick and he turns out to be a 10-year all pro, are you going to regret the pick? Are you going to complain about it, the whole time until you see how good he is? And then you're like, oh, okay. I mean, how good does he have to be to justify it? I've done videos about top 10 picks by the Saints before, and go find that video because our top 10 picks, you want them to be playmakers, you want them to be impact, but what it comes down to is they're generally, typically, either really good or a bust. And in the Saints case, there's been a bunch of busts. Just get a player that's going to be good. I don't care if it's a guard, a safety, or a linebacker. Just get a guy that's going to be good. A guy that you need. Because, yeah, even if we re-sign Davis, he's going to be gone in a couple of years. And I love Danny Stutzman, and I have all the faith in the world. Danny Stutzman would be a good player at middle linebacker. Sonny Styles is probably going to be a better linebacker than Danny Stutzman overall. So Sonny Styles here at number 7 for me. At number 6, I've got edge rusher Ruben Bain out of Miami. 6'3", 275 pounds. These measurements are going to change. They're different right now because we've had Senior Bowl and East West Shrine game and stuff, and so we had some players have measurables taken there. Some sites are using those measurables now. ESPN doesn't. They're still going with old ones. Maybe they switch some and not all of them. I get my measurables from wherever I'm looking at the player. There's always a measurable there, and it's variable. They vary. There's a variety. So 275 pounds. Bain may be 265. He may be 270. So somewhere between 265, 275. And yeah, Ruben Bain to me would be a great player to have on the defensive line for this team. Maybe you want him standing up and rushing. Maybe because he's so big, he would be a force against the run on early downs, split out wide. Carl Granderson gets a breather. Ruben Bain is out there, and then on third down, put him on the defensive end, put him on the line, and have another quick guy out there rushing too. I mean, lots of different things you can do with Bain. I feel like he would be a really good defensive end if he could just play at 280 or 285. I don't know what his natural weight is because it's fluctuated. So is he a 265 guy or is he a 285 guy? I've got him at 275. I think he would be a force in multiple places. So defensive end, stand up edge rusher. People worry about the arm length. That's something everyone wants to know about. Eventually, we're going to get a number that we can all stick to. But I think he's got strong hands and he uses his hands well. So he can fight through some of that. And yeah, if you line him up in different places, you could find a spot for him where he's winning the battle. And Bain won a lot of battles, so I don't worry about it too much. I have him here at number 6. I like the player a lot. Yeah, I would at this point I would probably feel better taking Bain instead of Bailey. Bailey's going to be the better pass rusher, I feel like. But I think Bain's going to be a guy that's going to be on the field all the time. I don't know if Bailey's like Chase Young, rushing the passer on first and second down, out there all the time and rushing the passer all the time. If that's what Bailey's going to be in this defense, if that's what Staley wants, then Bailey and Bain are pretty much neck and neck. Because my only caveat here is I feel like Bain's going to be on the field more. If you rotate players a lot, they'll all come off the field. So call me crazy if you think Bailey's too good. Like I said, he's on my top 10. It's not like I don't love him. And I've got Bain here at 6. At number 5, I've got Makai Lemon, wide receiver, USC. I'm still a fool for that guy. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Here we go. 5'11", 195 pounds. Catches the ball, makes moves, works all over the field, run after catch. You can line him up everywhere. And yeah, at 5'11", you want somebody with size. Well, if you have Vele, who's 6'5", and Olave's 6 foot, and then you got this guy that's run after catch better than all of them. whether he's 5'11" or not. I just really like it. I like the player. I see these sites having Lemon mocked to us at pick 8, and it rubs me the wrong way because there's other players on the board, and they forced us to go and get, the third wide receiver is how most people look at him. Go get the third wide receiver when you can have the best running back, right? If Jeremiah Love's still on the board, I wouldn't draft Mekhi Lemon. So that's what frustrates me about these other prognosticators picking us drafting Lemon. Not when Love and Caleb Downs are still on the board. I'm sorry. But if they're all off the board, I've got Lemon at 5. So there's 4 other players that would be off the board. Yeah, if Lemon's there and David Bailey and Ruben Bain, I think about the usage, I think about the impact, and I'm leaning towards Lemon. I mean, sorry. I like Bailey a lot. Feel like he might be a part-time player. I like Bain a lot. I just feel like there were times when he just did not make a lot of plays in college, and he affects the game, and he'll be out there doing a better job at positions than some players we have on the team currently. So I value Bain that way as an upgrade. Yeah, Mekhi Lemon would be one of those first round playmaker types. Bailey could be too. Bain could be too. They're all in my top 10. Don't hate me. And like I said, this is pre-combine, and so the combine's going to change a lot of things for everybody. Pro days will too. And of course, I'll have my final top 10 prospects for the Saints right before the draft. At number 4, I've got Cornell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State, 6'3", 195 pounds. Cornell Tate would be a great piece opposite Olave. Yes, he does have the size over Lemon. And he's capable of doing a lot of things. He doesn't separate awfully, and he can get downfield, and he can make a lot of plays in the middle of the field and on the sideline. Cornell Tate would be a weapon. I just think about what Tyler Shuck did with Devon Bailey, and then I think about what he did with Juwan Johnson. Those players have size, and then I think of Cornell Tate in the mix and see a lot of success. So, yeah, I would take Cornell Tate above all the other wide receivers if he's there. And Lemon and Jordan Tyson are right there with him. I mean, I would be happy with either one. I would just be nervous with Tyson. Lemon, I would be stoked about. And Tate, I would be excited about too. Tate's probably not getting as much love as other players, but he's still here, top receiver on my board, and then at number 4. At number 3, I'm going with linebacker slash edge rusher Arvell Reese, 6'4", 243. Arvell Reese, in my opinion, would take Demario Davis's place, and he would play linebacker full time. He'd have the green dot on his helmet, and he'd be our linebacker. Same thing I would do with Sonny Styles. So, but Arvell Reese can rush the passer too. And if you want to go into some kind of exotic dime look that has your middle linebacker Isaiah Stallberg for a play, and you want to rush Arvell Reese off the edge, yeah, go ahead. I'm loving it. Um, I don't really look at Reese as an every down pass rusher. And he could be so good at it that you'd want him to do that. But yeah, I see him playing linebacker. I see Davis leaving this team, whether we re-sign him or not. It's not going to last forever. He's not going to want to do it forever. And yeah, a rookie contract, 4 or 5 year guy, come in here now. Even if you have Davis, we're trying to do this with Danny Stutzman, but Stutzman is a great player. He's not a first round guy like Sonny Styles, and he's not an Arvell Reese. So yeah, positional value, flexibility, the quality of the player. Arvell Reese is number 3 on my board. At number 2, I got safety Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. 6', 205 pounds. I've decided, yeah, I love Downs on this team so much. It always comes down to it. In a lot of these mocks, pick 8 comes up, and I have my choice of running back Jeremiah Love or safety Caleb Downs, and I'm not sure what to do. Uh, you know, I love trading down. And if I can trade down and either one of those players is still there, then I immediately take them above everybody else on this list. Caleb Downs at the star position for us with an exiting Alontae Taylor. I assume he is going to leave. It would just be super valuable for this defense. He may not lead the players on a game to game basis and stats, but his impact in the game would be massive. The way that Brandon Staley uses the nickel star, you need a solid player out there. I don't want to spend $17 million on Alontae Taylor to have a star. If Caleb Downs is sitting there at 8, it's almost like a generational player at a position that if you put a really good player at, is going to make this defense soar. So the positional value is so good for the star position on this team without Alontae Taylor in this defense with a player like Caleb Downs. It's just the way it is. He's number 2, and I'd be stoked if we got him. And the only player I'm going to rank above him is the same guy that's been my number 1 all this time, running back Jeremiah Love, 6 foot, 214 pounds. You don't take a running back. Yeah, you don't take a safety. There you go. And I almost put Olaiva Vega Ione, the guard out of Penn State, at the bottom of this list. He would have been an honorable mention for me. You don't take a guard either. I'm sorry, but that's just a guy that's going to start and be good. I look at Ione as a perennial Pro Bowler. I think he's going to be solid, really good, and at a position of great need for this team. Super. That's the way I look at it. Safety, running back, guard. You don't take them early. When are you going to take Jeremiah Love? When are you going to take him? You're going to take him at pick 10? Because the Chiefs are probably taking him at pick 9. The Chiefs are probably going to end up with Brees Hall, is what I'm thinking. So, you know, yeah, there's a chance Love falls a couple of spots. I don't think Love gets out of the top 10. Love is just a good player. Oh, you're going to ruin a great player by putting him in a bad situation. I'm going to ask for those of you that say that, and I've felt that way before, I still feel that way. You put a really good player in a bad position, you're never going to get the best out of him. I'm an old guy, man. Archie Manning, okay? How good could Archie Manning have been? 1978, 1979, that was the best we got out of him when he had the best offense around him. But for years and years and years, he was on a bad team, and you just never really know how good Archie Manning could have really been, right? Because he was on a bad team. So what you're telling me is Ashton Jeanty is a really good player. He's just no good on the Raiders. I don't think it changes the player. You change the situation around him, the player can perform better, yeah, but that's the caveat. I'm not going to take this really good running back because my team sucks so bad and we're just going to be doing him a disservice. I mean, I'm sure the Giants wanted it to work with Saquon Barkley. I'm sure they wanted it to work. Hey, I'm sure the Eagles wanted to work with Saquon Barkley without Kellen Moore. You have to have a lot of things in place to make it all work. And I'm not shying away from drafting the best running back in this class by far. And I got playmaker that you want. If you're going to get a top 10, pick a playmaker, a guy that's going to make a difference, a guy that's going to improve the team from a positional value, and a guy that has a chance to make a huge impact. And I'm sorry, what were we saying before I said all of that? Because all I keep thinking is you go get this guy and you put him on the team and then you build around him. You've got Shuck, you've got the quarterback, go get the running back. You want to build around the running back with another piece at number 8? Is that what you want to do? I'm going to go and get the playmaker, the guy that's going to make a big difference if it all works out. And I'm not counting out Ashton Jeanty with the Raiders either. Everybody hates that pick right now until that dude's in the Pro Bowl in a couple of years, and then hey, if you hit during the rookie contract, then you hit. And Jeremiah Love's my top pick for the Saints. Those are my favorite 10 players for the Saints right now. 1 second. All right, I'm back. Forgot what I was saying once again, except that that's my top 10. The combine's going to affect a lot of this, and I'll give you my final right before the draft, but I'll give you a few more before the draft, and we're going to be talking about other players too. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10. I'll be doing a video about some more unlikely picks with the eighth overall pick in round one. I'll be doing a top 10 of players that we could pick. That would be kind of surprising, but we'll talk about how they'll fit into the team nonetheless. And you let me know if you agree with this top 10 that I just presented, or if you highly disagree. You tell me who you want the Saints to take. What I'm saying is, if pick 8 comes up and any of those 10 players I mentioned are still there, yeah, I'm going with Jeremiah Love. Even before Arvell Reese, I'm going with Jeremiah Love. I'm picking Jeremiah Love, even if Caleb Downs and Mansour Delane are still there. All of the wide receivers could still be there, and I would still go with Jeremiah Love. That's the way I am. I'm thinking playmaker. I'm finally down with getting a playmaker, and I'm talking about replacing an older player at a great position of need, at a great position for a football team in general. If you don't have a running attack, and I know a lot of people want to go get a late round running back, throw him in the mix and we're going to be good. I feel that way too. You got a guy with speed and you have a three-headed monster with Audric Estime and Devin Neal. I'm stoked. I'm a huge fan of Devin Neal. I think he's Pierre Thomas 2.0. I don't want him to be my starter. I want him to be in the mix. And I love Audric Estime. That could be the ground and pound, fourth quarter kill shot. I love Audric Estime. He proved to me this year that he can be a running back that can start and do all of it. Pass block, receive, run the ball, break off big runs. He did it all. What else do we have to see? It's crazy. You bring a guy in that's a little faster or a little bigger, taller, and all of a sudden no one wants Audric Estime on their team. I mean, come on. I know Audric Estime can be a meme sometimes, a great player that just never gets to play. And I say you keep him on the team. Go ahead and get a running back in the later rounds and have a three-headed monster. I'm fine with that too. I can see that logic too. But for right now, Jeremiah Love is my choice. And if he's there at pick 8, yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. Let me know what you guys think. And until the next one, remember to subscribe. Do it right now. It's free. And you'll have me in your Who Dat family, and you come back and hear what I'm saying and talk to me. Let me know what you're thinking. And until the next time, I'll talk to you later. Who Dat?